All right. Is it 6:30? It's 6:32.
Yep.
I think
Philip with us?
Phil left for a little bit on a journey, but,
Did he say he was coming back?
yeah, well, he went to make a copy. I'm not sure what he's doing.
All right.
We'll get him back. Anyway, thank you for being here tonight for the meeting of the Dartmouth Historical Commission, and especially on a nice night like tonight. So we've got, I don't know if you have an agenda in front of you, probably not, but we're first going to state that the meeting is being recorded by Dartmouth Community Access Television. Is that what it is?
DCTV.
CTV, okay, and so let me first of all, let's take a look at the minutes for the 6th. Do we do that publicly?
May 6th.
May 6th, we do that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hello, Philip.
Hi. See if there's any dissent or any.
Any revisions? or-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at the meetings for May 6th, other than a couple misspellings, are there anybody take a chance to look at it, and does it look as though we need to make any more revisions to it? Any members agree?
I didn't think so.
Okay, looks good. Okay, good. So, do we have a?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for the meeting of May 6th, 2024.
I second the motion.
Great, so the motion is passed to accept those minutes. That's great, thank you. And then we're going to get on to some demo applications. So we're going to start with 213 Little River Road, HDPR 24-25. And can I ask, when you get up there, please just state who you are and what your role is, if you're contractor, architect, homeowner.
Good evening, folks. Thank you. I'm Greg Jones, architect for the homeowner for 213 Little River Road. Folks bought it about 7-8 months ago. They would like to renovate it, and that would entail sawing off the current roof. Right now, there's just a low ceiling height attic on the second floor. They want to saw the roof off, lift the roof up so they can have a full story on top. New windows, new siding. I believe I wrote down in my notes, it's I think about 76 years old or 78 years old, something like that. So it just surpasses the 75-year limit. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but this is the cottage as it stands now, pretty nondescript cape, concrete block foundation, white cedar shingles, some replacement vinyl windows, kind of an unfortunate chimney on the backside. So what they would like to do, as they say, is add a second floor, this is the street-facing side, facing Little River Road. This would be the back side, facing the water, and then the two sides. I dashed in red here the old roof line, fairly shallow pitch, low. So we're coming up probably about 5 feet higher at the very highest. Fairly large dormer on the back, a smaller gable dormer on the front. Anderson A-series windows with divided lights on the exterior, interior, and a spacer bar. White cedar shingles on the second floor, or actually the second floor and a portion of the first floor, and then sort of horizontal shiplap siding on the first 3 or 4 feet, just below the windowsill level. So we think it improves the look of the building. It certainly makes it more livable for the folks, so they can have a bedroom and a bathroom upstairs, a small guest bedroom on the first floor, living room, dining room, kitchen. So that's what we're proposing for that one.
Can I ask, are you retaining the chimney, or is that going to?
No, it's going to go.
Okay. all right.
Going to go.
I see some kind of a stack.
Yeah, so we're gonna clad it with shingles in the back, replace what's there, and instead of going with a full height chimney which blocks the view of the water, we're gonna direct vent out the back side of it. The current chimney that's there is wood burning, so it has to have a real chimney going up. This is gonna be a gas fired, which you can direct vent out the back wall.
Okay.
And the roof pitch is going for a shallower pitch to a steeper,
Correct,
a more conventional.
correct. Yeah, I think it's about a 5-on-12 pitch now.
Right.
And it's only 2x6s, so you can't even get enough insulation up in the roof as it stands now.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Is this gonna be winterized?
yes. It's going to be a year-round house. Currently, they're renting it for this summer because they haven't sold their current house. The hope is they'll start construction in the fall. It's not a huge project, so, I mean, they want to ideally be in next summer, which doesn't seem to be a problem. In the meantime, then they'll sell their current house.
I don't have any further questions.
Okay, that sounds great. Greg, thank you.
Thank you.
Very much for being here. I'm sorry, Sue, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, no, thanks.
Yep, I'm here for the next one
Okay,
too, so.
yes.
I'll stay standing.
So, you're here for the next one too, okay. And, so we want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we accept his proposal for, oh, I gotta read it out. 213 Little River Road,
Okay,
South Dartmouth.
can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Greg. All approved.
Thank you.
Good. And you're, which one are you doing again also?
1 Wamsutta in Nonquit.
Excellent, you're, how prepared you are, it's great. Just flip it around. Okay, this is HDPR 24-26, 1 Wamsutta Street, built in 1900. And I've got a narrative, but please go ahead and go through it.
Thanks. Greg Jones again, representing the clients for 1 Wamsutta Street in Nonquit. Another fairly modest renovation. The place is about 124 years old, 125 years old. It has a sunroom right now on the back that looks to have been added in the 70s or 80s with, again, vinyl replacement windows. And then a small 2-window dormer that's in the master bedroom. This is the water side. So the current owners purchased it, another fairly new to town, bought the place about 6 or 8 months ago. They're living in it now this summer, start construction in the fall is the goal. So what we would like to do is take off the sunroom, leave the foundation in place, build a new sunroom in its place that's a little more in keeping with the architecture of the house. So on the drawing underneath, you see a series of floor-to-ceiling windows. And then instead of just a 2-window dormer, we've done a larger dormer on the second floor with double-hung cottage-style windows. We're going to replace, there's a deck currently up here and a fairly nasty little door onto that deck. So we're going to have a custom door made with a circular top and a small deck that they can then get back out on and look over the water. While we do this, we're going to also rebuild the existing porch floor, which is sort of rotted and in difficult shape. But in the end, it'll look pretty much like the old porch that's there. And then on the side, the north elevation, what we would like to do is make another custom door. This is the master bedroom, sort of facing sideways, and this is the master bedroom here facing the water. So they'd like to have another door with another rooftop deck. And currently this gable, it's a bad picture, but this gable has no decoration on it like this front gable does. So we'd like to match the fretwork and the rake trim on the side as well. The rest we're pretty much leaving as it is. We're replacing the outdoor shower with a cedar enclosure. I think over time, there's a bunch of sort of unfortunate windows that were replaced in the 70s or 80s that don't have any divisions. And I think over time, we'll probably come back and look to replace those. But right now, this is about all they want to bite off because they're going to be redoing the kitchen and spending money inside. So that's this one.
Is there now no dormer facing, I guess if you're facing the water to the left?
No, all there is to the left is sort of the side, the cheek wall of this dormer.
I see, okay.
So the new one's a little bigger and we can squeeze 2 windows in it. And then this gable does exist, but it just has a pair of windows sort of off in the distance here.
Okay.
So what we'd like to do is just make this gable look like this one and add another sort of matching custom door to the water side door.
Okay, and the shingle types?
It's going to be white cedar shingles to match the existing white trim It has asphalt roof shingles on it, so we'll be matching the asphalt roof shingles that are there now.
Questions?
Is it, how much more square footage is this gonna,
So the sunroom is a net zero because we're building on the existing foundation of the existing sunroom, just replacing the windows. The master bedroom, we're coming out 8 feet and it's about 14 feet wide, so 80 and 32 is about 112 square feet additional in the master bedroom.
so it's only, gonna be one master bedroom?
Yes, yeah.
And no guest rooms or anything?
Well, there's actually 7 bedrooms in this house,
Okay,
but we're really not doing much to any of them. The master is the one that gets the view, so that's where they want to, and it's really, for the most part, it's the husband and wife that'll be living here.
okay.
They have kids that'll be visiting, so they get the
Right.
smaller rooms.
That's good. Other questions?
No?
Okay, great. Well, I make a motion to the Dartmouth Historical Commission, having determined the building at 11 Sutter Street is not historically significant, that we approve the demolition permit for the work described in application HDPR 24-26.
And I second.
Okay, great. The motion passes.
Great.
Great, thanks for being.
Thank you very much. Thanks, folks.
Yeah.
They asked us all. That's okay. You asked us all too. No, just, if there's any, you have to say,
Oh, right.
just, that's okay. We'll be fine.
Thank you. Okay, next up is HDPR 24-27,
Did they make,
482 Fisher Road,
meeting is being,
and, hello.
Hi, my name is Teddy D'Souza for 482 Fisher Road, applying for a demolition permit.
Are you the owner, contractor?
I'm actually the person buying it.
The person buying it?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
There were not, to our knowledge, complete photos uploaded to the website.
Yes, yeah, I did. There's a photos of the house, all sides.
Let's take a look here and see.
But sorry.
No, go on, please. While I pull this up.
The problem is that when we look at the notices for the residential building permit, it says in our records that it's been stopped. So we can't act, I don't believe we can act on anything that hasn't passed through the building department yet.
Okay, because it's going through everything right now. Well, it hasn't gone through really building, it's going through planning.
Okay,
You know-
but is there an issue with taxes? That's what, it's listed on our record as being rejected for taxes.
At least being stopped, work stopped because of tax issues.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd have to speak to the owner. I don't know if there was an issue with that. I
Not
didn't know
sure.
if-
And so that, it's the building department that actually put that stop, or the finance department probably put the stop on it. And so one of the stages in the process. And so,
I applied for the fee for the demolition permit and everything, and I paid it, and there was no issue.
so you got to go online, if you could go online to the Citizen Services website, the town's website, and it'll show you your permit, it'll show you what stage it's at, and it'll show you if there are any problems with it, and you'll see that there's a stoppage on it right now.
There is? Okay.
Yeah, and the plans that at least that we have for this there's a picture off of Redfin,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a plan that is just
A floor plan.
a floor plan, not really.
In the town, yeah.
Right, not the plans of what you, so the floor, so because you tend to demolish the whole thing.
Yes.
Is that right? So one of the rules that the town has is that you cannot demolish without a plan for replacement at the same time.
Oh, because it's going to be subdivided into lots right now.
It is.
Planning, yeah.
So I'm not sure how we handle that. Is it?
The house needs to be demolished because it's going to be in a roadway. And plus, it hasn't been lived in for over 30 years. It's been raining in there. It's really
Sure.
bad.
No issue on that. It's just, I think that at least I have got to get a bit smarter about what we do in a situation where there's no plan to build on what you've demolished for, a building more than 75 years old. So, I think.
Well, it's nothing on there's no permit in place to build anything, but I'm gonna be building there, my daughter, and actually the owner right now, is gonna build there also.
Okay.
That's, to clarify that. But what, do I need anything from you? Like, so I need to check to see if there's taxes due or whatever is due, get that cleared up first.
Yeah.
And get a plan to you, like, can it be a drawing? Can I draw what it looks like inside, like where the bedrooms are, stuff like that, or?
I think what we'll do is if you can get onto the website, the OpenGov website, that you probably applied for your building permit, or your demolition permit through that website. So get back onto it, take a look at, and maybe talk to the building department about the hold, or the finance department about the hold. In the meantime, we'll investigate what if anything, we need for you to move forward from an historical commission perspective. Maybe nothing. Maybe if you've got plans to build something there, maybe that's all we need is the knowledge of that. And then you come in front of us again next month, and we can do something more.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
All right.
And
What's every month? You guys meet every month?
Every month, yeah, absolutely. So first Monday of the month, I think it is. So yeah, I would go back and talk to the building department, or figure out who put the hold on there, and I would start there.
Oh, can I say something?
Please, yeah.
So I did go in,
Okay.
and everything's in progress, but it's on hold with the taxes, and it says, please, there's a water and a sewer bill.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that was just due. So even if it's a day late.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will put
Yeah.
all right. All right, I'll go talk
But
to her then.
everything else says in progress, so they're,
Good.
So,
That might be a quick resolution then.
so I can just speak to the secretary there to stay informed of what, make sure everything's all set for next month? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right then. Thank you. See you next month.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thanks very much. Should we vote on it to reject it?
No, I think you just explained it, so.
Okay. Okay, good enough. Okay, good. Well, thank you. And next up is ATPR 24-28 510 Court.
Thank you.
My name is Sean Redfern. I'm one of the owners of 510 Court. So we're coming before the board to complete the siding as well as the windows on the house. There's a prior approval from the Historic District Commission for the siding on the house. We did a smaller portion of it, and now we're going to look at completing it. We intend to go back with white cedar shingles, the vertical nickel gap siding, and then using the Pella Reserve windows that we used in the rest of the house.
Okay. And replacing the front door as well?
We are, yeah, we're going to replace the front door, yep. It'll be a mahogany front door.
And the front porch canopy at the entry, okay. All right, and when was the home built?
It was built over several different decades. The original portion was built in the 1930s. And then there were additions that were put on in the 80s and the 90s. And I think there's a map that I put in the application for you guys.
All right, are there questions about
No
this?
questions here.
I'll make the motion to approve the demolition permit. I make the motion that the Dartmouth Historical Commission, having determined that the building at 5 Bonneau Court, not historically significant, approves the demolition permit for the work described in application HD PR 24-28.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in, appreciate it. Looks beautiful.
Good luck.
tonight. Okay, HDPR 24-29, 449 Reed Road.
Hi, Kevin Palm, the owner of 449 Reed Road. Just here for siding. The house was built in the late 1920s. There's no demolition involved. I just want to go over the original siding with vinyl siding.
Vinyl siding, okay. Is the vinyl siding, now it's cedar siding, is that right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Does it look, is it gonna look consistent with the way?
Oh, yeah, with the area it's across the street from Lincoln Park, and all those homes have vinyl
Okay.
all around the neighborhood, yes. So I was told I had to get the okay because it's historical.
Roof as well?
Roof as well, yes, sir. Yep,
Using architectural?
yes. That's what's already on it. It's just been there for a while, so I'm gonna be stripping and relaying that.
Are there questions about this?
It already has new windows, so it's just a matter of putting the sign in.
Okay.
I make a motion.
Okay, great, please.
I make a motion that the Dartmouth Historical Commission having determined the building at 449 Reed Road is not historically significant, approve the demolition permit for the work described in application number HDPR-24-29.
Second.
Great. All those in favor?
All right.
Good?
Thanks very
Thank you.
much.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And lastly, among the permits, HDPR 24-31,
I think
1
Philip
Cleveland
had a
Street. Is that
second.
you?
Did
No?
you second?
No, he's not here.
Paul's not here, okay. Okay, what are you here for?
He's just waiting.
Observation.
Oh, do you work for South Coast?
Yeah, and an introduction to you, but
Oh, good, okay. Okay, good. So, and actually, personally, I've got some business with South Coast, which is great, so. We're gonna move on to other business now. Do you wanna stay for that? Okay, sure, that's fine, yeah.
So I missed it. 1 Cleveland Street is not here.
He did not show up. I was surprised because I saw the foundation permit was approved. We talked to him last month. He told me he's putting in the other permit, the building permit. I saw it on the record. It made it to the agenda, but he's not here.
Does
I
he have to
still,
be here?
I think we can still take it up even though he's not
Oh,
here.
okay, all right. Okay. Good, well, that's good to know. Okay, I didn't know that.
Because after so many days, he's gonna get to do it anyway if we
Right.
don't act on it, so.
Right, I looked at the plans. I look at the rest of the house. It's not far from where I live. It looks like the plans are consistent with the rest of the house. And are there any other questions about that? We can move the action along.
I just wanna, just for the record, I just wanna say that there is a DAR number, it's 269. It's the former house of Lawrence and Mabel Russell. It was constructed in, as it says, 1891. And the Russell family maintained that property through the mid-20th century. That's all I could find out about the house.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sue. I make a motion that the Dartmouth Historical Commission, having determined that the building at 1 Cleveland, not historically significant, approve the demolition permit for the work described in application HDPR 24-31 in absentia of the owner of permit requested. And we can let them know and move the permit along past the commission.
And I second.
You second that. All in favor? Okay. Sue, do you have any police station updates?
Well, there's a meeting tonight at the select board, which I'm supposed to attend. They probably aren't at that point in the agenda yet, but it's to discuss the appraisal
And I know there's a town meeting on Wednesday, is that right?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Yeah.
Do we know what the appraisal was, by any chance?
Yes, the appraisal was 600 and
There were 4 different options. It was one to subdivide, it was around $610,000. One not to subdivide the property was around $625,000. One to sell the property as is without rezoning it, only for $125,000. And then one to subdivide the property and not rezone for around $110,000. So there are 4 options, and that's what they do from there.
What was the town's option?
No, the town has 4 options in front of it, the board has 4 options in front of it,
So
so.
the select board's gonna make a,
They are not, it's up to town meeting,
Town
that's
meeting.
that's why there's a warrant article for town meeting tomorrow.
Did they make
When
it-
they just,
Please go on.
when they discuss the property, are they talking just about the footprint that the building sits on, or that entire site with all of the garages and the sheds and?
Scenario is for 1.97 acres and the other is for 0.92.
And
are we supposed to discuss this now before the meeting that's gonna happen on Tuesday?
Well, I think we're just discussing our knowledge of it based on this commission's efforts to, to essentially hold up the building permit for the options to be created. And so we have a big interest in knowing what happens to this historic building. for
Just to
sure.
make it,
Yeah. I guess, do we know was there an appraisal of the building, what the building is worth?
So that's what that appraisal was. I mean, I told Sue that I disagree with it because to say that a building of that size on 2 acres of land in Dartmouth is only worth $125,000 as is just is not right. But I'm not a licensed appraiser. I'm just a realtor, so. But that's the current worth if you sold the property as is, allegedly.
is this information online somewhere? I'd like to,
not yet,
not yet.
No, they
Yeah.
haven't released it.
and we're talking about it, so everybody in town's gonna know about it
Well-
for the meeting. That's what I'm saying, that we shouldn't be discussing it until after the
But
meeting.
where, how did you get the information?
Because me and Sue sit on a subcommittee, or
Hmm?
me and Sue have been dealing with this project from, to deal with the town back and forth, so Dan shared it with us.
Yeah, but it's going out to the web, it's going out right now as we speak to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in town.
No, it's not. The appraisal's not being released to all the town meeting members. It's
Well, he
gonna
just
be
released all the
discussed.
numbers.
We're gonna be discussing it with the select board tonight. If you wanna know more about the appraisal and what the discussion will be with the select board, you should go to the select board meeting.
Or to the town meeting tomorrow?
Well, I'm not a town member, so I can't go.
You can go, you just can't vote.
I think anybody can go.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I've not prepared any kind of review from the April meeting about Form Bs, other than there were some action items that came out of that. I've got to go back and look at my notes and do more work on that. And I'm just kind of getting up to speed. I just got the email. I was working with Chad this past week, and we had some struggles getting the email. Cannot get onto the computer in the office, but it sounds like you can, right? I couldn't.
In that office?
Yeah.
Well, I just went into the historic commission portion of the portal.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you can get that from home.
Right,
Yeah.
which I got. So I finally got into the email and got under the queue, and it was a little bit difficult. So I'll have to circle back around the Form B meeting, unless you've got more to say, Sue, on that.
No, because I haven't really sat down with the list, because
Okay.
it's fairly extensive, and it also means that we should be going back and looking at properties that haven't been included.
Right.
So, and I haven't been able to do
And we had a
that
bit of an
yet.
action plan about that.
Yeah.
But we'll follow back up on that. So I should have mentioned that Chris is pretty sick tonight, so she's not able to come. She's got some upper respiratory thing, and so she let me know earlier today, and so she's doing okay, but she just wants to take a breather, so that's why she's not here tonight. And she might have had something to say about her April meeting with the building inspector. I met with the building inspector 3 or 4 days ago, had a good meeting. For for sure. You know, and one of the things that came out that is, I think, clear to us all is that they have a statutory obligation to approve permits, to make a motion on a permit within 30 days. They've got to make some kind of an action on a permit within 30 days. And so he's really reluctant to be held up going forward because he thinks that's been a bit of a problem for the department in years past. So he's very eager to clear the decks and move things forward. And so I said that I would talk with you all, and I would make a point to be an active reviewer of historical review requests, and that if there are easy ones that are like for like, and we have to establish some kind of a criteria as a group about what that means, that we might entertain the notion of doing a Zoom call sometime mid-month in order to get a quorum, and if we need to simply to get past if there's any bottlenecks in the future. We don't face that right now. We have no problem with that right now. I just said that I was amenable to talking with you all about that. If we all of a sudden had a rush and he felt like things were not being approved fast enough. So I just left that option open, and we can talk more about it if it becomes something that's a necessity. So that was kind of real key for him, for Randy, that we just simply, we do our job according to our bylaws, but that we don't sit on anything without a formal reason to do so past the time that allows them to meet the 30-day requirement. So that's that. Nothing else really interesting came out of that. And then the Plummer Bridge plaque update. So I've been in contact with Tutel, the monument company here in town, and they have looked at pictures of the monument to put back on the bridge. Right now, I'm waiting for them to come back with a quote to redo them and to possibly create a mold if we need to do it again in the future. And the plaques the bolts are kind of shorn off, and so I would pay them to go ahead and take responsibility for go ahead and reinstalling it on the bridge. One of the things they said is if it's so damaged, and it's pretty damaged, that we might entertain the idea of simply having them create a new one with the same materials and same everything else that exists right now. And I don't know how that sits with us from an historic perspective. I think I'd always like to try to repair the original one first, but when I get the numbers back, I'll circulate them and we can talk some more about it.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to use the same writing that was on the plaque originally?
Of course, everything would be exactly the same. So that's an option. I think it's kind of the least good option right now, but we'll see how things look and what the costs are, okay? And I think that that's something that the Dartmouth Veterans Advisory Board will be paying for anyway, so we can take care of that. So I work with them as well. Okay, so any more questions about that or anything we've covered so far? No, okay.
What is, make a mold? What would the mold be?
The mold would just simply be a clay of the plaque in case it never needs to be replaced in the future.
Oh, okay.
That was Jamie O'Day's idea. I don't know how important or necessary that is. Apparently it's not an unknown thing, and so looking at the documentation that Jamie pulled together, I at least suggested it to Tutel, and we'll see what they have to say about that. It may not be necessary, but just a plaster or clay mold. Sue, Smith Mills Library.
I met with the Smith Mills Camp meeting about the possibility of them accepting the library if we were to decide to go that route, but they wanted to discuss it with their membership, and they're going to be doing that, and then they'll get back to me.
Okay.
Because they have to weigh, the expense of moving it. Of course, they would probably apply to CPC for some contribution for the moving at least, and they're going to explore it. They were pretty excited. They said they could easily use it as their library and also utilize it for some of their historic photographs from Smith Mills Camp meeting.
How extensive is the library? How many volumes or pictures or?
Oh, no, this is a building.
Oh, the building. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
That's
okay.
all right.
So, okay, okay, got it. When do they open for the season? Do you know?
They were doing some cleanup the
Okay.
week that I was there, so.
Okay, all right, good. Any more questions about that? Okay. Sue, the Washburn Lane update? Washburn Lane?
Yeah, I think I pretty much covered it at our last meeting, but the professor of historic preservation from Salve Regina is going to be returning this month to do some type of 3D computer-generated work in the house. And he was going to come back and do that in June, and I'll probably join him when he does. I know that Chris wanted to be able to be there as well.
Okay, but, so the resolution of that,
That he's going to bring students probably in the fall.
okay, all right, good. That's great. And the old fire station on Bridge Street, I know that there's been requests for involvement by the chief. Are you all familiar with the building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think it just kind of coming into it new, I think Sue talked to me about the notion that it could be, funds could, through CPC or elsewhere, could be acquired to restore it. And I think the notion was to make some kind of a Dartmouth Fire Museum. I don't think, is that correct? It seems to me like that's a worthy idea unless we feel otherwise as a group. And so I guess I would propose to reach out to Chief Andrade and at least, if he does not already know, signal that we're willing to partner and be an approver for the process and help him with his CPC application if that's what they eventually want to do. I don't know if we have any more involvement than that, other than saying it's a good thing, or do we?
I was able to pull whatever I could find from the office in terms of photographs or documentation, and I've already passed that on to the chief, so.
Okay, great. I think Chris said that one of her ancestors was the chief there formerly, and she used to be over there across the street as a young child, and so.
Well, that was
A lot of
actually,
memories.
it was a community building as well after they decommissioned it as the fire station.
Okay.
So there were always town meetings there, the Ag Commission used to meet there. Somebody that I know had their wedding reception there, so it was, kind of just a community.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Until about when? Until the new one was built? Because that was only about 15 years ago, right, or 20 years ago?
Yeah, I was gonna say the wedding was probably Ag Commission met there in the 80s, 90s, and the wedding was probably around that same time.
Okay, all right, good. Well, I will, I'll circle back and talk with him and bring that to the next meeting. So, the bylaw for preservation of archaeologically significant resources. I've not looked into that. I think it's I think that what's in mind, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what's in mind is things that are not structures, but that are significant. And so I don't know if that means stone walls, monuments, maybe burial grounds. Is that what we're talking about here?
Burials, I think, are handled separately.
Okay.
But for sure, stone walls, wells,
Okay.
because those are structures.
Okay.
Barways,
Signposts.
sorry,
Signposts.
signposts,
Is there?
yep. And,
Okay, well, bar samples, walls. I'm assuming, does anybody know for sure whether Mass Historical Commission has guidelines? Examples?
there's somebody, and I can't remember his name, but he came here to walk a property with us, and I know he created one for the town that he lives in, and I can't think of his name or the town he's from, but I'll find out.
Okay.
But he did a lot of work as far as that was concerned.
I'd like to just understand that better because it sounds like it's a good idea to me. Lastly, and not on the agenda, the mission statement and preservation goals. I know that that was last updated and approved in 2013. There's a draft that you may have all seen from just about a year ago, from 6/5/2023. I will send out a copy of the draft if you don't have it, or also I'll post it to the team site, which I'll talk about in just a second. And along with the request that you take a look at it and see what you think about it, and I'll do some digging and see if there are other good ideas coming from other towns. I think I've got Westport's, and I think that we should put it up for a vote and approve it, alter it, change it, whatever should be done. That's the mission statement and preservation goals for the Historical Commission. So, so you may have seen, I sent an email out a couple weeks ago, just kind of, get my feet wet and all this paperwork that Chris gave me. But one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to create a team site, team storage site that we can all go to. So I sent out a URL it's a Microsoft OneDrive site that has all of the documents that I think were on a stick. Maybe from you, Sue, but certainly one from no,
that wasn't from me.
And then from Chris and from somebody else. So I have all the documents that are digital. Chris gave to me. I uploaded to this site, and I'll send it out again just in case you might have missed it in the flow. But what it is a website that you can go to that's got essentially a bunch of folders on it. It's a Microsoft site, a team site, and all the documents that we have that are digitized that I'm aware of at least. And I'm sure there are other ones like some of the the Form Bs and such that are not on there yet. But everything that I'm aware of that I have from Chris is up on that site. And anybody, meaning anybody in this room, because you all have permissions as a result of me inviting you with an email, can go look at things and do what you want. Look up documents. I would, if it's acceptable to the group, and we all have access to computers, it should be very easy simply to bookmark that link, go to it, and all of the things that we're working on and currently editing. For example, the mission statement and preservation goals. You should be able to take a look at that document, download it, maybe even make edits of your own, and upload it back to the site. Your changes and edits will show up in red to any other team member who wants to take a look at it. So there's what's called version control on it. So I don't want to get too fancy with it, but it's just a repository for all the digital things that we have that otherwise would be sitting on somebody's computer or thumb drive. Not all there yet, but I think it would be a good way to simply keep us all on the same page. Certainly things like all the agendas will be on there for our ability to look at those later on. My hope is to get everything that we have that can be digitized eventually on there so we can take a look at it. And again, it's permission based, so only we have access to that site and ability to look through those documents. It might ask you to create a password the first time you go. I don't know, but I know that Phil, you tried to log in, and I think you said you were successful. Maybe not. Does that seem like something that we could all?
Yeah.
I'll send it out again.
I did get it.
You did get it, okay,
Yeah,
good.
and I
good.
could open it.
Oh, it's
It's
great.
great.
Did you have to create a password for it or like that?
No.
No, good,
Just
okay.
click on.
Just click right on and went right into it.
Okay,
I
good.
did it on my phone, so
Okay, good. Yeah, there's a really good app for your phone if you want to look at things on the fly. Again, just trying to digitize things and keep them in one place so they don't the
I
files.
can't believe sorry.
Please go. Yes.
I can't believe I just can't buy a laptop and turn it on and just visit a site without having
You
to go.
can do that. You can go to the library.
Thank you.
Well, you can buy what's called a Chromebook, which is just, it has to be online. They're much less expensive than ordinary laptops.
Right.
Because they don't have much of a hard drive, and you're just made for browsing. They cost a couple $100 tops.
So basically, we're all in this mode that we're in now is just cruising through, browsing through all our topics. In other words, right? So I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. So I'm like squirrely when it comes to.
Sure. I can talk to you about that later if you need any help with
Okay.
picking out a laptop or something like that. Okay, well, I think that's the end of the agenda. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to say? Or any topics?
I just wanted to add that the Historical Society is hosting a presentation on Wednesday, June the 26th at 6:30 at the schoolhouse in Russell's Mills. And it's going to be on the Wing House, which is also known as Sea Thrift Farm, 288 Russell's Mills Road.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, you have to be a member to attend these?
No,
No, okay.
I was going to say also, I'm sorry, last thing for me, that the CPA, is that Community Preservation
Act, yep.
Act, okay. There's a boot camp that I've agreed to attend for 3 hours later this month. Just kind of an online thing to learn about things and kind of something I learned about that Chris forwarded to me and I'm happy to attend. And so that's something that I'll be doing later this month and I'll report back anything interesting that I learned next time we meet. And I guess the last thing, I'm sorry to keep on jump starting this. This came in, and, I'm not sure if you've seen this. This is about the Lower Buttonwood Brook Dam Removal and Modification Project. You're aware of that? So we apparently are mentioned on the project notification form as partners with DNRT on the partial rehabilitation of that site. So I don't know what that means in terms of what we have to do, but they just got a notification that this is in the works and they're looking for a site plan. Not our responsibility, but I just didn't know what we'd signed up for.
Well,
when we-
this is what's critical about what's happening
Okay.
as far as we're concerned, because that's also was the, it's going to impact what remains of the Waddy Mill,
Okay,
which you can see from Elm Street, a portion of it.
okay. I'm not
That-
familiar
that-
with that. Okay,
Is that the mill that's all covered with brush and everything that's at the bottom, right over by the overpass? Before you go into, on Elm Street? It's on to the side, right?
It's on Elm Street.
so there's, you know where Buttonwood, on the far end of Elm Street toward Slocum, where Buttonwood's kind of passes, I guess it's under the road, is it right?
Yes,
Yeah. Is that where that is?
yes.
Okay, I think
But
it's-
but the mill, you can see a portion of the mill right along Elm Street, but there's more works behind the house.
Okay, okay. So it's actually lit on Elm Street, probably a couple blocks from the end before you Slocum? Okay,
No, I
Not
don't
even that
even think
much?
it's that far.
okay, maybe a block and a half, or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
block
yeah.
or so. So that's where it is, where Buttonwood goes underneath Elm Street there. So I guess that's just something, again, I'll post this to the team website, I'll name it, and we can take a look at it. And I'll figure out a good way to organize things in there in folders. Right now, it's very, very hodgepodge, but a lot of stuff is just historical that we can look at if we ever need to refer to in the future, and some stuff will be current business things that we're looking at now. And
Well, that being said, we had an opportunity at one point, MHC has a program called Roving Archivist, and I don't know whether the funding is still there for that program, but we can apply, and they would send someone down to help organize.
wow.
And the office, I believe, needs it desperately.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Roving
Archivist,
archivist.
yep,
I will look into that. That's a great idea. Because
Awesome.
if they can digitize our records confidentially and make a permission-based, website that we can all access to, we don't have to go into the file drawers so much anymore, and I think that's kind of potentially a good thing, if things are really well organized. So, we'll have to sort of talk about it as a group. If there's some things
And
that
I
are not
think that-
appropriate for that, maybe they all are, I don't know.
well, yeah, and they would have to say what they will or won't do,
Sure.
right, so.
Sure, it's a lot of work, but, so I will do that, and I'll come back and make that an action item next meeting that we can talk more about. And something that I don't know, do we tend to meet every month, even in the summertime? Is that something we do? Okay, great, I guess, of course, the permit's required, so that's a dumb question.
No, that's not really.
Okay, well, great. I have nothing more to say. Anything else, folks? Okay, well then, I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting. Is that appropriate? Mm-hmm. And do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Do everybody agree? Do we
Yes.
say aye? Okay, great. Thank you all for being here. It's a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Good meeting.